Friends and fellow Floridians, our great state of Florida, the third most populous state in the Union, has always been a beacon of opportunity, promise, and success. From the southernmost point to the shores of Apalachicola Bay and everywhere in between, Floridians have many different ways of life, but we all take pride in hard work, family, and our beloved freedoms. We just heard the governor speak about Florida's triumphs. Yet, underneath carefully curated talking points, a much darker reality is clear. The very essence of what has made our state great for decades is under continued threat due to an increasingly out-of-touch and extreme agenda championed by the Republican Party of Florida and a governor who is more preoccupied with running for president than solving problems in our state. Despite our booming economy, the foundations of Florida are shaking. Our seniors, pillars of our communities, whose hard work and dedication built Florida up to her former glory, now face the grim possibility of losing their homes. Our students and young people, who are supposed to be Florida's future, can't afford to live in the state they grew up in and desperately want to make better. Our workers and unions, the fabric of our communities and the backbone of our economy, are under constant attack and face elimination by their own government. And while Florida has become the inflation hotspot of the country, families across the state are burdened by soaring costs of living, the erosion of our democracy, and a government preoccupied with taking away our rights while failing to address real issues facing everyday people. Housing continues to be unaffordable for most, and more than 250,000 Floridians, including small children, will soon be deprived of healthcare coverage, leaving our population sicker and poorer as a direct result of government failures. Unjust abortion bans opposed by the vast majority of Floridians have stripped our residents of their right to privacy and health care, forcing dangerous pregnancy and birth, or else, with threats to literally jail women and their doctors. Freedom of speech and peaceful protest have been curtailed, destroying constitutional protections assured by the First Amendment. Voting rights and equality are under attack, and freedom, true freedom, is long forgone. But Florida Senate Democrats, along with our colleagues in the House, are working tirelessly to defend our rights, to restore affordability and solve problems for everyday people, because we believe the great state of Florida, the home we love so much, is unquestionably worth fighting for, and so is our freedom. Together, Florida Senate Democrats are fighting for you, filing legislation to ensure Floridians have the freedom to be economically strong, healthy, and safe. That's why I'm fighting to make sure women aren't jailed over abortion care, and low-income seniors stay afloat amidst the ongoing property insurance crisis. That's why Senator Rouson is fighting to protect Florida's seniors from fraud. And Leader Pro Tem Pizzo, Senator Osgood, and Senator Torres are fighting to make sure Floridians can actually afford to live in the Sunshine State. Senator Stewart is fighting to preserve Florida's world-class environment, while Senator Berman and Senator Davis are fighting to expand Medicaid and create a healthier Florida. Senator Polsky is fighting for common-sense gun safety, and Senator Powell is fighting against community violence. It's why Senator Thompson continues to be a voice for voting rights, while Senator Jones is making sure students have the freedom to learn Florida's true and unabridged history, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we continue to propose measures to ensure the promise of freedom and the prosperity of Florida's booming economy reach every single neighborhood and zip code across the state. We are proud to fight for teachers and truck drivers, for women and their doctors, for farmers and small business owners, students, and our seniors. Because until every Floridian has access to economic opportunity, safe communities, and the freedom to realize their own version of the American dream, Florida's promise is failing. Unfortunately, Democratic proposals are routinely rejected along party lines in favor of an agenda that prioritizes the interests of the few over the needs of many. But we will not give up. And let me be clear, the priorities of the people and the taxpayers and the hard-working families who make the Sunshine State great must always be the priority of any public servant in elected office. Corporate interests must never take precedence over the well-being of our residents and our communities, and the tenets of freedom, safety, and affordability must anchor all decisions. As Florida's Senate Democratic leader, I want you to rest assured knowing that Democrats in the legislature remain undeterred in our fight for your rights. We're fighting for teachers like Anna, who just wants to be paid a dignified wage to do the job she loves, and for the state of Florida to stop attacking her classroom library, her students, and her union. We're fighting for Sam and his wife Kim, grandparents in their 80s who worked hard all of their lives, now on the brink of losing their home because they, like so many others, just can't afford Florida's skyrocketing cost of property insurance. And we're fighting for Anya, Shanae, and so many others across the state of Florida who have been denied needed and appropriate medical care following dangerous miscarriages, told they must go home and get sick, and quite literally risk death before a doctor can legally provide treatment because of Florida's barbaric and cruel ban on abortion, and politicians who think they know better than a woman and her doctor. These Floridians and each and every one of us deserve better. We deserve more. And while passing good public policy means we'll work across the aisle in order to get things done for you, your elected Democrats will never compromise in defense of our shared values. As we open and gavel in the start of the 2024 Florida legislative session, your Senate Democratic Caucus and the Democratic Battalion in the Florida House will continue to uplift the voices and demands of our constituents. We were elected to do the people's work, and yours is the interest we proudly serve. But the urgency is paramount. Floridians are not merely asking but begging for help. You have my word that I will continue to lead the fight for relief and progress for Floridians everywhere. Together, we have the solutions. It is long past time to put those solutions into action for the benefit of all. Florida is only as prosperous, as safe, and as free as the poorest, least protected, and least free among us. The fight continues.